So now that we're removed from a game that we have to analyze, I just want to make this clear. I like Justin Fields a lot. I think Justin Fields is going to be really good. Me pointing out the things he did wrong in a game in which he did not play well, that the coaches, Luke Getsy said he did not play well. Anyone with eyes could say he did not play well. That is not hating on the quarterback. That is just telling you the analysis from the game. You zoom out on the season, Justin Fields, it was a win. He got a lot better. He became one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the league, even if 80% of it is with his legs at this point and not his arm. But we all know the arm talent he has. We all know the throws he is capable of making. We saw it in college. We've seen it in glimpses in the NFL. And I think another offseason and weapons around him, he is the guy. I 100% believe that. And guess what? If he comes out and has a poor game in week 1 next year, we're going to tell you he had a poor game. That's how this works. Doesn't mean that he sucks. It's just how this works.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Anything else? I
didn't mean just as long as we set the baseline for the offseason. Go to the offseason.
Well, I just listen. And by the way, we're all aware that you don't need us to sit on some pulpit and tell you what's going on. You guys are on top of it and all that. You have, but
again, Donovan, we get it. We did scenarios on trading Fields. The Bears are going to do that in their own front office.
Yes.
And even if they don't get like deep into the weeds on it because they believe in Fields, we'll find out tomorrow what Ryan Poles says in the press conference. But teams are going to call. And we're not the only ones doing this. I just listened to a podcast that was like, should the Bears think about this because he's not a finished product? Doesn't mean they should. But if teams are going to call you about potentially trading your quarterback because you have the number 1 overall pick, we're going to talk about it. It doesn't mean we're advocating. We all said on the set that day we would not do the trade. We all said it.
Yeah. And there's also a quarterback next year coming out of USC by the name of Caleb Williams, who is getting so much hype already that this is going to be the next biggest thing of all time. Now, are you telling me, you, Donovan, or you, whoever out there who's just Fields, that if you were sitting in this position and that dude's coming out and you have the number 1 overall pick, you telling me you're not thinking about drafting that dude and getting 2 more years of control for someone who's being called the next greatest thing in the history of football? You are definitely thinking about it, and that is not a slight to Justin Fields. Like, it wouldn't have been a slight. I like to bring up the NBA too much, but it wouldn't have been a slight if in 1984 Portland was like, you know what, Clyde Drexler, we're trading you and we're taking 23 out of Carolina. It would have been the greatest thing that Portland ever could have done. Now, you have to be right in your evaluation, and it's a huge gamble, which is one that I don't think the Bears are going to take because it's mainly because it's crazy and also because nobody is looking at Bryce Young or Will Levis or C.J. Stroud as that level of quarterback.
Exactly.
But if that dude was there, it would be a totally different discussion.
You just got to go through scenarios. Not saying like it's going to happen, but you have to go through every scenario because if somebody throws a crazy number out there for Justin Fields and picks, it's something they would consider.
Right.
Like just with Russell Wilson last year. You know, Seattle probably didn't have plans on letting him go, and then they got offered a lot, and they were like...
And good point, because 2 years ago, they got offered a ton, and they were like, you know what, we're not ready to do it. But they sure as hell they had discussions, and then a year later, they decided to do it.